Let's see. Scott, Florida. You're in the Wilkow Majority. Hello. Calling back. Yes, we know it's you. Go ahead.
Hey, Andrew. I wanted to say, as a Democrat, I've paid attention to Herman Cain. Your show's helped me in that. And I've watched every debate, and I've listened to just about everything he said. I do like that op-ed that he wrote today. My problem, and I'm going to ignore foreign policy. I'm going to ignore his kind of take on the Constitution. You know, those are my real big issues with him. But in terms of his 999 plan, you keep talking about how blacks are going to not vote him in because he's an Uncle Tom. I simply think that blacks aren't going to vote in a person that's going to raise their taxes.
How is he raising their taxes?
That's what I wanted to ask you. Is it your opinion that the 999 plan will not raise taxes on the recipient voters, or, you know, class that doesn't pay income tax?
Yes, it'll actually make them have skin in the game. They'll actually be stakeholders. They'll actually have to contribute to all of the wonderful things that they receive from being in this country. Yes, it'll make them taxpayers.
Right, and
that's not just black voters, by the way. This country only has 14% of its population being black. 47% are currently non-federal taxpayers. So there's a whole lot of white people not paying taxes.
No, it's your 48% that you quote all the time, and that's kind of my point. Is that if we're going to be honest about it, and that if you are being honest about it, you're telling us.
Well, no, Scott, let me stop you. Is a balanced approach everybody paying taxes to some extent, or is it some people paying no taxes and some people just paying more in taxes?
Well, there's not a single American worker in this country that does not pay any taxes.
No, we're talking about federal income taxes, sir.
So let's get that clear. You know they pay taxes, and my point to you is that if Herman Cain came up with a plan that left the status quo at the bottom and raised it on the middle, I'd be even more favorable to that. I just don't see how you...
So in other words, you want an entire class of people who are wholly unresponsible for their votes.
They're not wholly unresponsible.
They are wholly unresponsible, sir. Federal income tax. The federal income tax. We're not talking about property taxes. We're not talking about state taxes or sales taxes or state and local fees. We're talking about the federal government withholding your money and not returning it to you.
Right. And what I'm saying is a family of four making $35,000, they can't afford any.
But you're missing something else there. Do you know where that family of four is going to benefit?
Explain that to me. That's why I want.
Oh, this one's easy. I'll knock this one out of the park for you. Our corporate tax rate right now is 35%, the highest in the world, thanks to the Japanese earthquake. So all of those taxes are being rolled into the high price of goods and services. In a competitive market, if the corporate tax rate drops to 9% and a corporation or several corporations don't compete on the market by lowering their prices to adjust, then they'll be out of business. So that family of four that is now paying 9% of its income in taxes is going to have marginally lower prices across the board when they go to spend their money. And there'll also be massive job creation.
I don't doubt that. Obviously, it's much like JFK. It's much like Reagan. If you can manipulate the top rate 20 percentile points, you're going to see jobs.
If you're asking me, is it going to feel the same as getting a check in the mail? No. Is it going to feel like all of a sudden I wasn't a taxpayer, but now I am? Yes. But prices will have to come down. In this competitive market, if we had a monopolistic or oligarchy or God forbid, a nationalized economy, well, then maybe prices would be slow to come down. But the minute the market sees that the corporate tax rate has been dropped from 35 to 9%, prices will have to come down as those taxes that are rolled into the price of goods and services are immediately removed. And you know what? A store like Walmart or Target or a company like Coke versus Pepsi, people are going to begin to race to the bottom on pricing, not wages, pricing.
Well, we're going to need that because he's instituting a sales tax, and that was my last question for you. The 999 plan, that will not include a state income tax. That will not include a state sales tax. Is that right? That's going to be in addition to
right. So yes, you'll pay 9% in your income and 9% when you consume. You're still only looking at 18%.
Right, but what I'm trying to get at is this, and at least you're being very honest about it, Andrew. You're admitting that the people that are not paying income taxes. Because
I don't think Herman Cain denied that.
Oh, no, he didn't. On Fox News, that flew over everyone's head, but he actually admitted it. He said that, I'm not going to form a tax plan to keep people from paying taxes.
Well, you got to understand, though, it's a hybrid of the fair and the flat tax. And in the fair tax, there is a return for the people at the bottom. They are allowed to look. The tax code would allow for people at the bottom to receive revenue in return for certain. I believe it's food, clothing, mortgage. There's a whole list of things that they would get all that money back. So yes, they would still be getting a credit in some way. Nobody says it's perfect.
But you're clear that your credit that you will receive will not outweigh what you're being taxed on.
Well, God forbid that everybody wait a second. Aren't the Democrats talking about getting everybody with skin in the game? Come on, get skin in the game.
Right. I'm with you on this. What I'm trying to tell you is that if you tell a person making $30,000 that you can pull lever
then sir, they can vote. Then they could vote for 16.7% unemployment. Thank you very much for the call. Because I guarantee you that family of four you're talking about probably has an unemployed member of that family. So you can vote for more unemployment, or you could vote to change things. You want to talk about change? That's change. Obama didn't run on changing the tax code. He ran on just change. Herman Cain, 2012, vote for a real black guy.